Hello.
Hello, mates. Hi, Tosh. Hello, how are you? Good.
It's your whole house.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that all that's in the picture?
Oh.
Okay. And then Taylor. Yeah. Is she? She is. Oh my gosh. And then everyone's just going to the Montana BTS. Denise was like, "Hey, so we're driving out at 6 a.m. Are you going?
No,
Oh.
I was going to, but I'm not anymore. Oh, you're not going to have decided differently. I realise we can't talk with these things going. Yeah, but...
Okay, welcome everybody. We can come in. We're going to start with a little bit of worship. So we're just going to start off with one song and then we'll do a few more introductions. But yeah, welcome everybody. Good to have you here. So I'll give it over to the worship team and then I'll come up again after the first song.
Yeah, if you guys want to stand and move forward in the room. Lord God, thank you for the joy it is to worship you. Yeah, we just welcome you, Holy Spirit, to come and do whatever you want to do. God, we ask you to fill this place. Yeah, your presence would come. Yeah, we want to bless you, Lord.
Great
Great, thank you guys. So guys, keep standing. We just wanted to say welcome. My name's Lachlan. I'm here on staff with a base. As you can probably hear, I'm not from America. I'm from South Africa originally. But it's wonderful having all of you here. So what we're going to do, guys, this is not a church service. It's just our community night, our coming together. And I see there are a lot of faces here that I don't recognize, which means we've got a lot of visitors with us tonight, which is fantastic. So what I want you to do is, YWAM staff, you need to find someone that you don't recognize. If that happens to be another staff member, then we've got a problem. But find someone that you don't recognize, say hi to them, and then what I want you to do is this is something we do as a family. When we have dinner most nights is we share 3 things we're thankful for. So YWAM Salem staff or students, you can't do it with another YWAM Salem staff or student. Find someone that you don't recognize and just introduce yourself, say hi, and then share 3 things you're thankful for, and the other person can do the same. Can we do that? Yeah. Okay, let's go, guys.
You get stuck with this.
More visitors than YWAM.
Good. Okay, guys, we're gonna come together again. We're gonna enter into a time of worship. So yeah, guys, just keep standing, and our worship team's gonna lead us into a time. Yeah, continue leading us in worship.
I approach the throne of
Just wanna look at Jesus and I'm face down in the ground. Holy, 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 holy. Just right now. Just wanna look at Jesus and I'm face down in the ground. Holy, holy, holy. Join with heaven now. Just wanna look at Jesus and I'm face down in the ground. be boldly in your presence because of what you did for us. God, I pray that you would just speak through the people we're sharing tonight, God. And would we fall more in love with who you are? Yes, God, thank you. Thank you we can gather together and worship you. God, such a joy, such an honor, God. God, we love you. Your name, amen.
You can get like on my face and not on my side because that makes me
Great, thank you, worship. You can have a seat, guys. And yeah, I mean, what a privilege on a Tuesday night to be able to worship God. Normally on a Tuesday night, I don't know, we'd be washing dishes or cooking food or watching TV or something, and here we get together as a community from different countries, different states, and we get to worship God. It's a great privilege to do that on Tuesday night. So thank you, Amanda and Lisa and Tolek, for leading us in worship. Okay, so guys, well, yeah, just for those of you new here, what we'll do is we're going to hear a little bit from some of our missionaries, and then we're going to actually pray together for them. We're going to not just be passive, we're going to intercede for what they're going to share about. And so, yeah, there's going to be some sharing, but also some praying, because as I say, we want to be part of what's going on. We don't just want to be passive, sitting and listening to what's going on at the front. So tonight, we are going to hear from some people who work. Does anybody know what flag that is? Pakistan flag. Yeah, that's right, guys. So today it's a really exciting night. We're going to hear unfortunately, we're going to hear from Neelam, who is actually from Pakistan, but she's sick. So we're going to hear from Annette and Neelam and a few other people who work. And so I don't want to steal their thunder because they're going to share about everything. But this is a ministry that started through the COVID years and has just seen incredible fruit in Pakistan. So it's I think it's okay if I say two older ladies, right, Annette?
old lady.
Two old, okay, she said old ladies, not me, guys, but two old ladies have started this incredible ministry. They're reaching thousands of people, digging wells in the desert, they're starting churches, they're training evangelists. I mean, it's this incredible ministry in Pakistan, which is a, unreached country, incredibly difficult, a dangerous country for Christians. And so, Annette, why don't you come up so long? But as I was thinking for tonight, I want to read a scripture, and this is out of Joshua chapter 14. And it says, "These are the inheritances that the people of Israel received in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the people of Israel gave them to inherit. Their inheritance was by lot." Hang on, yeah. So this is Judah talking. So this is now Caleb talking. And it says, "Their inheritance was by lot, just as the Lord had commanded by the hand of Moses for the 9 and 1/2 tribes. For Moses had given an inheritance to the 2.5 tribes beyond the Jordan." No, hang on, I'm in the wrong chapter here. No, here. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I started in verse 1. Guys, I didn't bring my glasses. I made the screen. I made the font bigger, but maybe it's a bit darker than it was in my mind. If you borrow those in it, yeah, you got to be careful. Okay, here we go. This is what I want you to see. "Then the people of Judah came to Joshua at Gilgal, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, said to him, 'You know what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, in Kadesh Barnea, concerning you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought him word again as it was in my heart. But my brothers who went up with me made the heart of the people melt, yet I wholly followed the Lord my God. And Moses swore on that day, saying, Surely the land on which your foot is trodden shall be an inheritance for you and your children forever, because you have wholly followed the Lord my God. And now, behold, the Lord has kept me alive, just as he said, these 45 years, since the time that the Lord spoke this word to Moses while Israel walked in the wilderness. And now, behold, I am this day 85 years old. I am still as strong today as I was in the day that Moses sent me. My strength now is as my strength was then, for war and for going and coming. So now give me this hill country of which the Lord spoke on that day. For you have heard on that day how the Anakim, which are the giants, were there, with great fortified cities. It may be that the Lord will be with me, and I shall drive them out, just as the Lord had said." Amen. So guys, yeah, Caleb says, I'm 85 years old and I'm just as strong. And when I was thinking about that, Annette, I think about you and Neelam. Yeah, most people who 75, I got permission. Most people are 75 are maybe worried a bit more about, where their walking cane is or where their dentures are or something like that. And Annette and Neelam are here going for it, preaching the gospel and seeing this incredible fruit in Pakistan. Take us away,
Do I have to use this thing?
I think so.
Can you guys hear me? No.
Keep it on your chin. That's what I do next. Tell yourself to keep it on your chin. That's what I do.
You know what? I have such a big voice. It's okay. What are you doing, Amanda?
Do you want to stand?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to sit down because I'm old and I have a back problem. Even though I went for treatment today, I'm not going to be able to stand up all the time. So I do a lot of teaching sitting down. So let me get my notes here. Where's Christian? Is Christian over there? Christian's going to be my point person for my keynote presentation. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's that'll work, right?
You're looking a lot like a Christian right now.
Does that work?
Wait.
No? Well, I'll do this. I'll hang on to this, then I can hang on to this and not sit down. That's even better yet. So I appreciate so much for the word that Lachlan gave because I am 75 and just to let you know, I was going to say who I am and who Neelam is. So Neelam, is that good?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So Neelam has been here on this base for 9 years, and she's this little Pakistani, and she's a lot younger than me. I shouldn't say two old ladies. Anyway, she's like my adopted daughter. 82, God birthed the desire in me to be in missions. And then 82, God birthed the desire in me to be in missions. And then we came back to Ywam in 1986, and we stayed with Ywam until 1994. And then I went on to Slavic ministry until 2000. I had to go back to work, and it's really not wanting to go back into nursing. I'm for a really long time. But anyway, what happened was I went back to work, and in 2014, I think it was our 20th, that big anniversary that we had over there in that barn, and it was 2014. It was an amazing time, and at that time, God said, "You're going back." And I said, "But how can I go back? I have to provide for myself because my husband left." And so, you think, how am I going to provide for myself? How am I going to go back to YWAM? Anyway, through a process, the Lord called me back. And when did he call me back? You're not going to believe this. I gave my job up, and I came back here to work with FCM, which is Foundations Ministry for Counseling. And I was going to work with Vicki and do nursing on the base as an RN, which I still do. I'm doing right now. And all of a sudden, as we had our first staff training in Harvest, somebody knocked on the door during our snack and said, "The state just shut everything down and COVID is closing everything. And you're old and you need to go home." And I went, did I hear God right? And I was like, are you kidding me? And they were all like, yeah, we had measles here a couple years ago, so we're closing the base down because we want to do everything they tell us so that we're going to be able to stay open. So they literally said, "You are old, go home." So I went home and I said, "Oh God, what did I do? I gave my job up." So I called my nursing job and I said, "Can I come back?" And they said, "Are you kidding? You have diabetes, heart disease, with COVID? No, you can't come back." They said, "When COVID's over, maybe you can come back." So I said, "Oh God, what am I going to do now? Lord Jesus, help me. Did I not hear you?" Well, I saw Neelam right before I left. Neelam was coming out of the kitchen, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Now we have no church." So Neelam, I said, "You know what? I believe that the persecuted church never stops." Who went to death? Yes, all my kids went on this base, and they're married to this year, all that stuff. But anyway, so Adrian, my youngest, said, "You know what? We're going to start an underground church." And that at that time, the world was so shaky. It was like, really? Are we going to go drive? Is somebody going to report us? All this stuff. And Neelam and I said, "No, we're going to go." So of us gathered that first Sunday, and I disobeyed and I came up here on the base, and Neelam kind of had my car, and she got in the car, and then we drove off to Dallas real quick. As we're driving to Dallas, she goes, I want to put a well in the desert. And I go, a well in the desert? And she goes, yeah, a well in the desert. And I go, well, how much does a well in the desert cost? She goes, oh, like $235. And I said, okay. So I wrote her a little check for $100, and she had $135. And so I didn't think anything of it. And we interceded all the way to Dallas, and we interceded all the way back for COVID and, you know, the bases, and the world was in a panic, we remember. So then the next Sunday, I picked Neelam up, and she goes, oh, look at this, the well's in the desert. And she shows me a picture, and I go, who are those people? And she said, those are our people in the desert. And I can't, because we're on YouTube, I can't say the name of the people, but it's in the Southeast Asia area of Pakistan. There's 3 unreached people groups. Her family, Neelam comes from, I won't say the name where she's from, but she's in Pakistan in a huge city. Her father, when she was 6 years old, for 11 years before she was 6, her father was praying to start a Christian church in this huge city in Pakistan. And for 11 years, he went before the magistrate and kept asking, can I put a church in? Can I put a church? Nope, nope, nope. And then on the 11th year, it's an amazing story. I wish he was here, but angels went before the magistrate, and they knocked on Neelam's dad's door, and they said, guess what? You can put a church in this area, and it's totally surrounded by the cousins. We won't say the name. Anyway, so the cousins are all around them, and they built this church, and today that church is flourishing with 500 people in this huge town. So anyway, it was really, I have to tell this little part. So Neelam's father went to who he thought the magistrates, there were like 10 of them, and he knocked on the first door and said, oh, thank you so much for putting in a word for us to do our church. And the guy goes, I never put a word in for you. Every place he knocked on the door, none of them, angels had showed up. And it was totally angelic for them to get this, for them to approve this in Pakistan. So through that, her family is 8. They're actually 12 of their relatives have all gone to Ywam. Could you believe that? And not only did they go to Ywam, but she has 3 brothers that are missionaries, and she's the 4th. So very involved, and I'm very involved in their family. I know all their names, and because I've been with them for many years. Anyway, in the 90s, her brother, I won't mention his name. Anyway, him and I will say Shacky's name. Shacky, that's a name that's common. So anyway, he's our bridge. Anyway, they started this work in the desert, and it's 22 hours from Neelam's town. So they have to drive on a dirt road 22 hours to go to this desert area. Anyway, they started it in sometime in the 90s, Neelam said, and it didn't go anywhere because many people have tried to go into this desert area and to start ministries. Like in 1930, a lot of missionaries from, I just read a book on the, anyway. It's hard to talk when you can't talk about stuff. Anyway, this book, it showed that, Presbyterians and Episcopal, Catholic, had all gone to this region, and none of it was touched like this. So they've had people, taken out of the region and taught them in the 30s. But these people in 1947 were deposed from India and Pakistan. They did not like these people group. And they threw them into the desert, I think with hopes that they were going to just dry up and die in the desert, because it's 128 degrees there right now. I can't stand 100, But 128, well, I'd be melting. My hearing aids would be falling out. My glasses would be slipping off. Anyway, they all are in this desert area, and they are resilient. And so during COVID, when we put in the first well, what happened was that was the first week. And then when we went back to our hidden people, our hidden church, we showed them the picture of the well, and then these 14 people jumped in and said, "Oh, well, we want to put in a well." Do you know between April and December, $14,000 came from that little 14 people church, because no one was going to church, so they tithed to this, and out of that came this ministry. So this ministry was birthed out of COVID. And the first thing we did, I should be looking at my notes.
You can sit down.
Well, right now I'm okay.
Okay.
But
You can sit down.
I had therapy today. I went on the stretching. They put me on the table and they stretched me, so much better. First week we had one well. Second week we went back, we had 2 wells in. And I'm telling you what, they're so happy that we were doing this. Immediately they would send us the pictures. So we'd go back with pictures, and then our bridge, Shakib, he's in between here and Pakistan. Does anybody have any water? I probably need some water. I should have brought my own water. Maybe somebody can bring me some water. But anyway, did you drink out of it? Did you drink out of it? I don't want me to drink out of it. That's the nurse of me, I'm sorry. I appreciate it. Annabelle, she's giving me my to say. So then he said, you know what? We were giving these relief packages out to widows who had lost their husbands, because in this desert area, basically they work on farms digging ditches for the water to come in there. Basically, they're 90% illiterate, and they basically eat vegetables. It's like onions, carrots, potatoes, and then they have roti that they make, which is they're kind of like a tortilla but with a better wheat, and that's sustenance. They only eat meat like a 25% charging for not paying it off. So 25% charging for not paying it off. So their debt would increase every week, and that means that they would never get out of slavery. So one of my friends with the little church, she said, "Oh, thank you, Grace. Thank you so much. Thank you."
Grace.
So one of my friends said, you know, I've been reading the Persecuted Church magazine for 30 years. So she said, ask them how much it is to release a slave. And in my mind, I'm thinking thousands of dollars. $550 for 2 slaves. So I'm going to be showing you a video, and it shows the whole process of the slaves being set free. And then I bought 2 goats, so they have like a dairy, and they were able to make cheese and do a micro business. And so that the 3rd week, the slaves got released. So that was, and it just started snowballing. It was just like everybody would go, I want to do a well. What are these people? And it's no water. They live in the desert. No water, no electricity, and no toilets. And they live under, Neelam calls them bird nests. They're like, you'll see, it's like just twigs on sticks with plastic, or one brick building will hold like 10 people, you know, because they usually have 6, 8 kids. So anyway, we just started this ministry. God did it. We didn't do it. Neelam and I had no clue. But Neelam in 1994, when she was about 26, she had a vision. And she knew that her brother and her uncle were out there in this desert, but she'd never been. And the vision was that God would start schools, vocational schools, wells in the desert, that they'd get living water, and this huge ministry. And so all of this time she'd been thinking about her vision, but it never came to fruition. And then when COVID happened, she said, oh, that's it. Well, now I'm never going to get to see the vision come through. And that Sunday was when this ministry started. So it was really good. I don't know how much time you're going to watch me? You're going to watch me. So just because I can't say the names, who are these people in the desert? And these people here, like I said, got deposed from India and Pakistan and put in the desert in 1947. And right now we've reached 3 unreached people groups. And the Lord started with 14 evangelists, and they were helping us put in wells, and I'm going to be showing you the slides on this. And the evangelists got really involved, but they were also working, digging ditches. So we said, Neelam goes, part of my vision is also micro businesses so that they could sustain. So we have, first it was just one unreached people group, but then they went out deeper into the desert. So now there's those 3, and we've reached 3 cities, 2 provinces, and the evangelists have started 46 churches since COVID, 22 full-time evangelists, 14 part-time evangelists. And today I talked to Shaki, and he said, 4 generations of evangelists now. And this is all since COVID, and we don't even, Neelam and I, like, that song that they sang, I took pictures of it. I'm so thankful to Amanda for the glory to God, because only God could do this. We thought, I've been praying for Pakistan since the Taliban and all that, and I had these dreams of what's Pakistan like at the same time that Neelam was having her vision. And God did it. He did all this. He brought me here the day COVID shut down everything, and only God can do that. So pretty exciting. Let's see here. When you see the pictures, you'll see that the women wear hoods. And the women, this is a patriarchal society. So when a woman gets married to a man, she goes and lives in her father-in-law's house. And she has to wear that hood in the house because she's never able to set eyes on her her husband's brothers or anybody. So these women, if they're married, teenage girls, no. Little girls, no. But women, they wear hoods. I swear, if I had to be there and wear a hood like that, I'd be tripping and falling like every 5 minutes. I don't know how they do it, and these are materials they're really blinding. So in the first discipleship school, excuse me, we noticed that the men we do discipleship, and we're doing all the YWAM DNA, Father, Heart of God, Bible meditation, spiritual warfare, all of those things. We started that in July. Well, no, it was, we started it in 21. And so what happened was, as we were doing these seminars, we do them every other Friday, and they're 12 hours ahead, so we go 9 o'clock at night, we turn Zoom on, and then we finish at 2 in the morning on Saturday. And for an old lady like this, it wrecks my weekend, I tell you. My sleep patterns throws off my diabetes. But I counted the cost because it is so worth it. Anyway, what we saw, we do love feast. We do chicken biryani for everybody after the seminars because we can't send them home without food. And we pay for all the gas for the motorcycles. Anyway, here's the men sitting on quilts. These quilts were brought back from Neelam, and these were handmade. This one was handmade by the head evangelist's wife for me. And they sit on these quilts. Their churches are all on these quilts outside in the desert. And we saw that the men we're sitting on the quilts and being inside, and the women are out in the dirt with the kids with no food. And we're like, wow. So the men and the women are totally separated. So intercession is a huge part of our ministry. And we started praying, and Kathleen Cook, her and her husband started Frontier Missions here in the 90s, and Carolyn and Akamoff, and Kathleen and John Cook, and me and my husband, we all kind of raised our kids together in the 90s. Anyway, Kathleen became a part of my ministry, even though she was in California. Major intercessor. So one day she says to me, "See those women sitting out there?" And I said, "What do you think?" She goes, "Well, that's 500 years of culture, because this culture, the women do not go with the men. They're separate." Oh dear. And anyway, and so what happened was she goes, "I'm going to pray. We're going to break that cultural barrier." And I'm like, oh boy, she's really out there, because I don't have the faith to believe like that. So she prayed that, and I have my intercession book back there on a table. And after, if you want, you can go and get, I have our website, and I have bookmarks, and you can write your name, and I can give you my newsletter list, put your names on it. Out in the back, the DTS students are going to man that little table. But anyway, Kathleen said, we're going to pray right now. And I remember it was like right before the second school started. And when the second school started, we were looking when we were teaching, and she goes, "Do you see what I see?" And Neelam goes, "Oh my gosh, there's hoods in the back. And they're not on the face, they're hoods." And the head leader got up and he said, we prayed about it, and we said, we're allowing women to come to the discipleship group. Wow. So 500 years of cultural barrier was broken, and we had the second school, 3 evangelists women that you'll see their pictures. And now we have so many women, we don't even count them, but they come to the discipleship school. So anyway, for me, I really want to really talk about the intercession, because that was the intercession that we did. We did it consistently every Thursday, and we're still doing it. Sometimes we'll miss a Thursday because of sickness or vacations or something, but pretty much we do this. And then Kathleen went home to the Lord, I think she's already been gone for 2 years, and it left a huge hole in our intercession, because she really was a powerhouse in intercession. But through that, we prayed for the discipleship schools, we prayed for a building, and these people have never had a ministry building. And last year, Shakib came to me and he goes, we need a building. And he said, it's getting so big, and these people are in harm's way, because if the cousins see the women with the men, they were up on a roof, which you'll see. Anyway, he said, you're going to see that, and then they can all be killed. And so he said, we need a building. So I said, well, how much is the building? And he goes, oh, 8,000 US. And I go, oh, I can believe for 8,000 US. I can believe for that. Well, now after the building, it happened to be not a building. It was a farmer's barn for animals with broken down bricks. And it all together, it's been a year now, 30,000 came in. And I have to tell you, we don't have any support. I have $175 a month support. We pay $165 for every seminar so that they can come with the gas and feed them. And that's every other week. And we pay like $2,000 to $3,000 for Christmas, $2,000 to $3,000 for Easter, $3,000 to $4,000 for graduation. And I'm telling you, Neelam and I just go, when she tells me, oh, Mama, we need money, and I'm just like, oh, where are we going to get the money? God does it. We don't even know where it came from. You know what? In all of this, with the building, with the schools, now we're into our 4th school. with the 4 generations. He told me today, he did a really detailed account of everything that's been spent since the first well. And you know what? Over $1 million has come in. Yes. So, it's like, oh my goodness. Only God Neelam and I give God all the glory because we don't know where it comes from. All of a sudden we put it out there, and like, I'll tell you one story. She said, at the first Christmas, she goes, we need $2,000. This was Thanksgiving Day. And I was like, we're going to get $2,000. We don't even have $5. $2,000. And so I had been on an online intercession group. And as I woke up on Thanksgiving Day, my phone went off and it said Brandy. And I'm like, who's Brandy? And she goes, I answered and she goes, I was on online intercession and you were talking about your ministry. And she goes, do you need any money for your ministry? And I was, I need $2,000. She goes, that's it. God told me, whatever you ask for, I'll give it to you. Wow. And he gave me $2,000 for Christmas. So we were able to buy warm jackets for the men. We bought wonderful scarves for the women. And we bought, you're going to see pictures, red sweaters with little shoes for the kids. And Neelam's family started the schools there in the 90s, and we have 350 kids that go to our pretty much public schools, and most of our evangelists teach in those schools. So, but intercession is so important. Intercession has really built our ministry. It built the building. It's done miracles. Like another miracle I have to tell you of intercession is at Christmas, we spent $5,000 on graduation because we had 40 evangelists graduate and 100 with the families came. We provided foods and Neelam wanted to get them Urdu study Bibles. So everyone got their big, beautiful Bibles. We got them backpacks and pens and all of that. And so we provided all that and it was $5,000 and we're like, Elam goes, you know what, we can't do Christmas. We can give them a $25 gift voucher and give the kids some candy, but we're not doing the big Christmas thing this year. And I said, okay. So she told them, only let the evangelists come for our teaching. I was teaching at Christmas. And she goes, and not the families. Well, when we're sitting there waiting to teach, all of a sudden we see droves of women and the kids coming in, and we're like, and I said, Neelam, shut off your mic. And I called her up. I said, how much money do you have for the meal? She says, well, we're providing for 41 for the evangelists, not for the kids and the family. And I said, so how much? She said, 12 kilos of chicken and 20 kilos of rice. And I said, oh my gosh. And Shaki was freaking out. And so he called the catering company to see if they could hurry up and bring food over. And they said, no, we can't do that. You're too far in the desert. That's impossible. So immediately, Neelam and I went into intercession, and I was so nervous. I thought, what did we do? We weren't even thinking. The women always come with the children, So we started praying, and I couldn't sleep. That night I was 3, 4 o'clock, and I said, call him, tell me what happened. Are you ready for this? God is so good. God is so good. He said that everyone, there were 100 in the building, neighbors were outside listening. They fed the 100 in the building, the neighbors outside, and there was chicken and rice left over in 2 buckets. That's only God. It's only God. So intercession has built our ministry. And now Felipe, come here, Felipe. If I want Felipe to give, I talked enough. So I want Felipe to give. Felipe joined our ministry when he got back from his master's, I think, 1st of February? January?
Yeah.
And so our first intercession, Felipe, tell them what happened.
Okay, I'm gonna call my best friend to translate me.
Oh, come on, Felipe, you speak a good English.
He doesn't need me.
No, guess what? He speaks as good as you. Yes.
doesn't believe it.
É só porque. É só porque é maravilhoso poder participar com a NET nesse ministério.
It's just great to be part of this with Annette.
E minhas palavras em inglês não são tão. Não conseguem preencher tudo aquilo.
And my words in English are not good enough to fulfill everything.
Então, a primeira coisa que eu achei maravilhoso de participar com ela nesse ministério
So the first thing I saw that was wonderful to be part of this with Annette
é o amor que elas têm pelo ministério
is the
e o
love,
comprometimento.
is the love and commitment that they have with the ministry itself.
Então, isso me constrangeu muito quando eu comecei a participar com elas.
And that made me really embarrassed when I was joining them.
A primeira intercessão, o meu inglês não era muito bom, então eu ficava meio gaguejando e não sabia pelo que orar, na verdade.
In my first intercession, my English is all broken and I didn't know what to pray for.
Mas ao longo das quinta-feiras eu fui melhorando.
But every Thursday I was getting better.
Durante o meu processo de mestrado que eu estou fazendo,
And during the master degree that I'm taking part of,
Deus tem compartilhado muito sobre as próximas gerações.
God has shared a lot about the next generation.
E uma das coisas que numa dessas intercessões eu senti muito forte
And one of the things that God shared to me on one of those intercessions
foi sobre essas crianças.
was about those kids.
E Deus colocou isso no meu coração e eu comecei a trazer sobre as próximas gerações, o quanto isso era importante.
And God really brought it to my heart, how important they were.
E a intercessão começou a rolar em torno das futuras gerações, por causa dessas crianças.
And the focus of intercession went towards those kids.
E eu fui para o Brasil fazer uma parte do mestrado lá.
And I went to Brazil to do a part of my master's over there.
E quando eu voltei,
And when I came back,
a Annette estava empolgada querendo me contar alguma coisa.
Annette was super excited trying to tell me something.
E eu não fazia ideia do que estava acontecendo.
And I had no idea what was going on.
E ela começou a falar, lembra daquela oração, daquela intercessão que a gente teve?
And then she came out to me and she started saying, you remember that intercession we had
Pelas crianças, pelas próximas gerações?
for the kids and for the next generation?
Está acontecendo.
It's happening.
As crianças estão vindo.
The kids are coming.
Elas estão vindo cada vez mais e a gente não tem mais espaço para elas.
They are coming every time, more and more kids. Now we don't have room for them.
E a gente estava tão empolgado.
Generation.
E pessoas que têm se comprometido em discipular as nações.
And people
Say was, and we're going to just show a video because I could stay here all night and talk. The miracles that have happened. And if anybody wants me to come to their churches or you want me to come to your house and talk, I'm willing. So I'm there. Just leave your name and number. But anyway, one thing that he didn't say is, out of that, the Sunday schools, the evangelists, we didn't even mention it. I just told them we're interceding for you, and we talked about the next generation. That's all I said. So I think 5 or 6 evangelists started Sunday school, and this is just since Felipe's word. And the Sunday school is between 6 years old to 16. Now, with the 5 satellite schools, because we outgrew our building already, 100 are in the building. We have 41 evangelists, and the 5 satellite schools have teenage boys and girls going through the same discipleship process that our kids are going through here.
Wow.
So that was all from that prayer. So anyway, I'm going to show you a short video that was just made today. I can't do my PowerPoint because I talk too much. Anyway, but you got the gist of it. This is a miraculous ministry. How privileged at 75 that God called me to do this. What a privilege. And the other little part is I was blessed to teach in the DTS, teach them hearing the voice of God and Bible meditation the first week. And these kids have counted the cost. And I told them, I said, hey, every other Friday, I'm online teaching. I would love for you to join. So Cameron, who will come up here later, he came and he listened and he prayed for the evangelists. So our kids over here are interfacing with the DTS over there. And I shouldn't call it DTS because we don't have the leaders over there to do it because this unreached area, we can't just send teams out there. It can't happen right now, hopefully someday. But anyway, our kids here, Cameron, Paxton, registered, like Ywam's registered, Pentecostal Church is registered. For 5 years, they've never allowed Christian ministry organization to be registered. We got registered, and you're going to see the certificate. And that registration, I said, well, what does that do? If we are ever in harm's way when we're preaching, we're registered, and they will protect. It allows us to church plant, and it'll help our. Can you make it louder? just to reiterate, so since COVID, the Lord's put in 60 wells. We have 25 micro businesses for our evangelists, 5 toilets. They're very expensive to put in. And we passed out over 500 audio Bibles of the New Testament. So we're going to have prayer points. You can put the prayer points up there. So if you guys would pray for ongoing discipleship for the evangelists, because this is a persecuted area. We never know when Zoom's going to be shut down. Please pray especially for the wives and the kids when the evangelists go out and they teach on Sundays. They go to these seminars which end up being 5 and 6 hours. Pray for the families for all that they need so that they will not be in harm's way when the fathers leave. Also pray for our finances for our seminars. Like I told you, I have $175 a month support. That's it. And also pray for the youth that are just now joining. We have 45 youth that have joined our 5 satellite schools. Pray for them to be inspired, to grow, for the Sunday schools to grow, and that this discipleship process will really filter through to this. So we have 4 generations now. So if we can break into prayer groups, I'll let you do this.
Great, thank you, Annette. And yeah, guys, I think just that Annette's call for about the importance of intercession and say we want to be active in that. So I want to encourage you, if you could stand up. If you want to move outside the tent, it's a gorgeous evening. You can't really see it in the tent. Feel free to. And we'll just take about 5 minutes, guys. But let's just pray for this. Let's intercede. We can really have an impact in Pakistan. Even though we're in Salem, Oregon, we can intercede for them. So let's pray for those people.
I have to go. Period.